African diaspora. It should be Israelite diaspora. All right, but that's someone else's work. That's what he chose to name it. I just use these as examples. All right, and put scriptures to them. All right, because at the end of the day, yeah, you know, you have to be aware of what's going on, and there's reasons for things like this that we're going to get into. It's scriptural what's happening. All right, not because of Africans, so-called. All right, the land of Ham. That's a whole nother bloodline, which we are not. Just so you get that straight. But in any case, first and foremost, call halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rukal Kodash. All right, once again, double honors go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. All right. I want to also send salutations out to the fellow Akim that are out there on the highways and byways. All right. Various cities throughout the whole earth. All right. Teaching the truth. All right. While trying to wake up the remaining, hopefully elect, because, hey, let's just face it, the time is very short here. All right. Playtime is over. It has been for a while. All right. But in any case, what we have here, I'm going to go ahead and get it so I don't forget it. Even though I post it, sometimes I forget to read it at the beginning. But let's go ahead and knock this out. This is the copyright disclaimer, all right, because I am using this as a teaching tool. It says copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance, make sure I got the volume up here. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Not trying to, steal anyone's thunder or make profit. This, again, is being used as an instrument for teaching. All right, so what we have here, for those of you that are unaware, a lot is going on over there on the continent, rather, of the land of Ham there, so-called Africa. All right, and it's this caveman that's playing his usual games, but what's happening is he senses that, it has for a little while now, that the pendulum is swinging and things are not in his favor. Of course, it doesn't matter. And this is again why we do these lessons, because you need to realize that just because you go from America to France to Britain to Russia, I should have left Britain out, but anyway, what my point being is these are all Edomites. These are all our sworn enemies. All right, even Moab, so-called Chinese. All right, so you're going from oppressor to oppressor to oppressor. Something wrong there. But why are these things? All right, and it's again highlighting the fact of who you really are. All right, and we're being, of course, under subjection of these curses that were put on us. They help identify us. Deuteronomy 28, in particular, what I just mentioned, verses 46. All right. 45 and 46. So, yeah, these, I encourage whoever views this, if you're not educated on that, go ahead and read. Start at the first verse, Deuteronomy 28 chapter, what Moses told the Israelites. All right. We agreed to a contract, which is a covenant, an agreement. Of course, it's binding. And the first 14 verses there tells you all these blessings will come upon you if you would diligently adhere to and obey those laws, statutes, and commandments. And verse 15 tells you, well, if there is a breach of contract, we would renege. Well, guess what happens in cases like that? There are penalties, right? And verses 16 through 68, that's, yeah, we getting our asses handed to us. But we did this. We did this. And we're out here trying to instruct our people on how to get in, back in the Most High's good graces. What's that fancy word? Ingratiate. Let's look at that real quick. Let's get, because it's a perfect word. Let me remember how to spell it. Ingratiate. I think this is it. Yeah. All right. So let's add them online. So it says 1620. It says to bring oneself into favor. All right. Come on now. For the favor of, which is again what we're trying to do. Gratia. Let's see, anything else here? Ingratiation as a noun. Let's see. Come on. I think you get the picture. All right. Let's see. Well, we already did that, but that would be the noun. Let's see if it's the original. It's going to send me right back. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Let's go to somewhere else. Dang it. Let's go to Webster's and dictionary.com to get a more in-depth. All right. Just 1 second. I'm going to pause this. It is coming down here. So let me pause this real quick. And I'll be right back. Salakia, I apologize. As soon as this comes up. Alright, hang on, bear with me, Salakia. Alright, Salakia, I'm back. Yeah, storms rolling through here, and the district, the DMV, had to go close the window. Anyway, so we're back here. Ingratiate, it says, we already said that, bring oneself into favor with someone, in this case, the Most High, by flattering or trying to please them. Oh, yes, indeed. It brings me to that scripture, I'll get it. To curry favor with, find the favor of, to win over, you damn straight. All right. Let's look at some more. Get on the good side. Grovel, hell yeah. Be obsequious, toward, kowtow to, bow and scrape to. All right, let's get that scripture I was thinking about before it leaves me. Let's go to, let's see, 2 Corinthians 5, because we know, all right, personal experience. It says the ministry of reconciliation, right? And you damn straight. All right, it's 2 Corinthians 5:11. We know what it. Oops, I got the G. Well, let me. I forgot. Salaki didn't change. I was looking at something else. Let's see. This is the ministry of reconciliation. 2 Corinthians 5:11. It says, knowing therefore the terror of the Most High Yahweh, we persuade men, but we are made manifest unto Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, and I trust also are made manifest in your consciences. All right, and this is what we're out here on the highways and byways. All right, ultimately trying to do, bring you back into this into the wedding. All right. This is what we're out here trying to do. Of course, the husbandman is Yahweh Shai, the groom. All right. So yes, you damn straight. We don't mind saying this. If anyone, you should be, it says lick someone's boots, whatever. Yes. Ultimately, this is what we're doing. All right. I think you get it now. All right, that's that fancy word there. All right, so let's go back. What we have here, these devils, like I said, they've been so long with getting their way with these, as they deem, uh, inferior races, you know, uh, getting their resources, just abusing them, and basically having their way. And there's another fancy word here. Let's get it. All right, because they've enjoyed. This is going to be impunity, and they've enjoyed. Oh, this is going to be real good here. Impunity. It says I'm not going to get into the history and all that. And that's just what is it word, and it'll be. So just we encourage you to look up words and everything. So you're going to have instances where in modern day you're going to have something that's deemed newspeak, whereas the meaning today is not what it meant decades or centuries ago. Just so you know, and we'll bring that to your attention. Anyway, impunity is a noun. It means freedom from punishment, and they have enjoyed this. White supremacy, all right, as a whole, this is what it thrives off of. Control, and part of that control is meaning, well, we don't suffer consequences, i.e., we, all right, allow ourselves a certain amount of impunity. There you go. Freedom from punishment, omission of punishment. Someone else put it, I can't remember who it was. They, how did it, oh, it was a Professor Black Truth. Damn it. How did he coin that? They have genetic immunity from the law. That's the way he put it. And that ties in with this. All right. It says also rashness in consideration. All right, unpunished, without punishment, and that's what they've enjoyed. Enjoyed rather, and they sense that things are turning against them because they're a bunch of spoiled, rotten, wicked pieces of shit. So let's go ahead and roll the video. I've talked enough. Anyway, it reads: new Prime Minister of Senegal plans to. Well, I was going to start off with the wrong one. Exactly. I'm glad I caught that. This is Niger. All right. I'll start off with this. I'm going to read the other one, but I want to do this one first. As soon as it loads here. Please bear with me. Hopefully, real soon I'll get a more powerful system, which I do have, but it's just on that one the sound is not something. I don't know if it's a sound card or whatever. But in any case, here we go. Niger's Prime Minister reveals why U.S. troops got kicked out of the country. And it has to do with what I just read to you, but we're going to hear him tell it.
It turns out there's more to the story. Niger's Prime Minister Ali Mahman reveals that the U.S. threatened them with sanctions before they kicked out. They're not out yet, but Niger has told the U.S. that they need to take out their troops, and U.S. has agreed to withdraw their troops from Niger. So initially the conversation, or at least the public statement that Niger made, was that U.S. was forcing them to pick an ally, or they were dictating.
Yeah, here it is.
Who they can be friends with and who they cannot.
Who they cannot. Talking to them like children. Here's another word for these motherfuckers. I just thought about that. All right. We're going to get scriptures on this too. Hubris. All right. Because they just overfill with this. Hubris. All right. Wanton violence. Insolence. All right. It says, but the meaning, it says, let's see, hubris is more classic, correct, and begin, the second is debated. Hold on. Presumption toward the gods, wanton violence, but, let's see. Hold on. I don't know if you can hear the storm, but, yeah, it's we'll come back to that. But as a matter of fact, hold on. Let's see. Let's go here. All right. Here we go. Wikipedia. Let's go dictionary.com. All right. And this is, you know, America in a nutshell, really. Hubris. Again, it's from dictionary.com. It says excessive pride or self-confidence, arrogance. Straight to the point. I don't think I have to elaborate more on that. Let's continue with the video here.
One being, you guessed it, Russia. So that was the initial statement that was made, and that is part of it. But there's more to the story. According to the Prime Minister of Niger, the US was threatening Niger with sanctions if they sell their uranium to Iran. This is what the Prime Minister of Niger said. Quote, "First, you have come here to threaten us in our country.
You can see it in their face.
That is unacceptable. And you have come here to tell us with whom we can have relationships, which is also unacceptable. And you have done it all with a condescending tone and a lack of respect." And funny enough, the US did not deny this. They are actually...
Of course. Why would they do? They don't care. All right, let's damn it, I lost my train of thought. Salaki. All right. Oh, now I know. All right. Condescending. Here we go. Showing or implying a usually patronizing descent from dignity or superiority. No respect. No respect. All right. Again, I apologize for, hey, not enough RAM on this one. But again, the one that does, for some reason, I guess I'm taking it as my sound card. Let's see. Let's go to Britannica. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. All right. Let's see. Oh shit, they going. Nah, I didn't need all that. Let's see. Cambridge. How fitting. A way of talking or behaving that is too proud. All right. An extreme and unreasonable feeling of pride and confidence in yourself. Hubris brought him down in the end, and that's exactly what's happening to this devil. Hubris, that's a form of automated arrogance. All right. Let's see. Yeah, and that's what he's headed for. Proverbs 16:18. Let's get that real quick, because this is this devil, and it just oozes forth out of him. But this is because of Ecclesiastes 8:11. We'll get that too. But Proverbs 16. Hold on. And 18. All right. It says, "Pride goeth before destruction, and an haughty spirit before a fall." His Humpty Dumpty ass, and that's exactly what's going to happen to him. All right. And is anybody going to feel sorry for him? No. No. Isaiah 14 goes into that. All right. Let's go back to the video and let it play out, because again, I'm going to be doing this one or the second one. Thankfully, they're not too long. Well, just let me close my mouth here and let it play out.
accepting. They said it in a different way. They said, quote, "We gave Niger a choice that was rooted in our belief in democratic principles and what was in our national security interest," end quote. As always, the superiority complex the US government shows towards African countries. Basically, they're saying that our way or no way at all. But we are proud of Niger saying, okay, we'll take the high road. It's fine. You don't want to allow us to be a sovereign country. You don't want us to pick our allies. You don't want us to sell our own resource to a country that is giving us money in order for us to give that product to that country. You are stopping us from making money because that's how.
I'm just going to throw this out here as a question. Who do you think is behind this? Do you think it's America or is it someone else? Think about that.
How countries make money. You export, you import, you exchange. That's how you make money. And Niger wanted to sell their uranium to Iran, which US said you cannot do that.
What? Why? Let me roll that back.
Said you cannot do that. As if Niger is just their uranium to Iran, which US said you cannot do that.
Wow.
As if Niger is just a kid that US is running. Like Niger is a foster child to the US and US can do whatever they please. And
now this has been going on for more than 20 years now. If you remember the basis for the war in Iraq, all right, when Colin Powell and them got up there and told those lies on the Hill before Congress about the cakes of uranium and all that, yes. So this has been going on for at least 20 years. Just for those of you that forgot.
Niger has no ability to pick for themselves who they can trade with or who they can be allies with. So Niger said no, it's not going to happen. So eventually we've covered the story of Niger and US, and finally the Niger government said we're not going to accept disrespect and also this condescending tone that you have with us. So yeah, we rather not have a good relationship with you. Take out your troops and just leave the country. So that's where they went to. They pushed them to their limits till they said no more. And that's what US is known for, to be honest, with a lot of African countries. Some because they have puppet leaders that are being paid by the same governments that are exploiting these countries. They allow this to happen. If you remember, the same country, Niger, when Mohamed Bazoum was the president, US had no problem with Niger, right? As soon as this coup happened and the leaders started demanding to be treated with respect, these new leaders, and they started demanding for transparency, now all of a sudden Niger is such a horrible country, they want to stop the relationship that they have with Niger. There's threats of sanctioning Niger. All this happened because their puppet was taken out, right? They fought so hard to keep him in that place. Same with France. They wanted Mohamed Bazoum to be there, but unfortunately for them.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, Akim and Aqua, has been going on since, when it involves America, since what they call the CIA's first mission after it changed over from the OSS, Office of Strategic Services, from World War II. They say that Iran was its first mission, at least on paper. All right, so they deposed Mossadegh because what? He wanted to nationalize the oil. It's their oil. So they got him out and put the Shah in, and that's where you had, because they got tired of his ass. So, you know, within the late 70s, I believe it was 79, where they had that, they kidnapped those Americans. All right, and see, they teach you these things, but they don't tell you the reasons, the true reasons behind it. All right, they just want you to believe that, oh, because they hated us because of who we are. No, I'll say it again. If you want to know the truth when it comes to America and how they deal with these foreign nations, you have to understand the foreign policy, all right, and the things that they have done, all right, and these people respond, and then they get called the bad guy. It's propaganda, all right.
And fortunately for the people of Niger, he was overthrown. So this is something that happens almost everywhere. And now is when we're seeing governments and people pushing back, saying no to this treatment and wanting to be respected, which we appreciate. And another thing the Prime Minister mentioned is the troops being there in Niger for a long time, but not being able to protect the people from attacks. This is what he said. Quote,
Let me go ahead and
the Americans stayed on our soil doing nothing while the terrorists killed people and burned towns. It is not a sign of friendship to come on our soil, but let the terrorists attack us. We have seen what the United States do to defend its allies, because we have seen Ukraine and Israel. End quote.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the best.
Exactly. See, this is another thing, because they realize that, hey, people are getting it now. What really upset the apple cart, so to speak, is the BRICS movement. All right, people are tired of this. Now, don't get it twisted. We know the elites are behind, controlling that too. But it's the American petrodollar. It's that control that, and then you have the WEF, you have the IMF, all right, and it's got these people in perpetual, the nation's perpetual slavery. Let's get, might as well go ahead and get it now. Let's go to Habakkuk 2nd chapter. All right, so we have, I might as well start at the top. It says Habakkuk 2:1, I will stand up on my watch, is what we're doing, and set me up on the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. All right, and the Most High Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. All right, hold on. All right, back. So again, we're out here trying to tell our people what the hell is going on. All right, so they might, not get caught up with what's coming on, but hey, it is what it is. But let me keep on. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Ezekiel 33:31 through 33. All right, they're going to know that a prophet was amongst them, but it's going to be too late. Verse 4, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. All right, yea, also because he, now we're talking about again this devil, right? Because he transgresses by wine, meaning his doctrines, his philosophies, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. He's a greedy, covetous bastard. But gathereth to him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. All right, and there's a warning against that. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his. Is that not going on now? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Remember, the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, the WEF, the World Economic Forum. All right, all these think tanks, all these, again, what did Meyer Amschel Bauer / Rothschild say? The so-called, well, he is the patriarch of the banking family. Give me control of a nation's money, I'm paraphrasing, and I care not who makes the laws. It's so simple. It's so basic. All right. 7. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them? Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee. Sounds like Isaiah 33:1. because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high. All right, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Let me get another word here in, because this is covetous, yes, but it's in excess even of that. And what's that fancy word? I think this is the way you spell it. Avarice. What is avarice? It's an inordinate desire of gaining and possessing wealth. All right. Greed, covetousness. All right. Greedy, grasping. All right. Crave for everybody else's shit. Long for. Not because you need it, it's because you want it, so they don't have it. So therefore they can come to you. This is the way, this is, I'm in Habakkuk, all right, 2nd chapter, all right. To be eager, to enjoy, to consume. All right, gluttony, that's a very good one. Hell, even in that BS Catholic chapter, what's one of the 7 deadly sins? Gluttony, all right. Lust. All right, this is who we're talking about. His desire is as what? Hell, right? Can hell be, let's go back to that. Can hell be satisfied? Can death be satisfied? No. All right, hold on, I went too far. All right, let's see. Or did I? Is that verse 5? Hold on. Yeah, here it is. Who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. That's just what that word, man. These scriptures are on point, all right? And that's why eventually they're going to have to get, because what? We're breaking it down as it should be broken down, not these lies. Because you got to remember, what you were taught in these churches growing up, all right, this was to fulfill someone else's, namely our enemy's, agenda, all right? He's not concerned with the truth, all right? This is to support his, the way he has things set up, all right? It says, verse 8, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Woe to him, remember I told you it was a warning against us, right? Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Thou hast consulted shame to the house. Now another word for house, when you think of this, think of when it comes to Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Another word for house is race or nation, all right? Because when you go to Obadiah, it's like, again, this is a warning, all right? It's not a good outcome. It's going to, this is, prophecy. It culminates in verse 18 there, all right? I encourage you to read all of it, but it tells you, let's get it, because I don't want to, all right? Because he's got an end. I mean, we know what it is. Again, let's go at the top. It says what? Edom will be humbled. And as we go down here, again, read. Again, goes to pride. That's that 3rd verse there. All right. When we go down here, and why these things happening to him? His violence against us. All right. I'm just scrolling through this for time's sake. Verse 18 tells you what? Well, 15, it says the day of the Most High is near, all right? And it's called judgment. Judgment on these worthless pieces of shit, all right? It says, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, all right? So you're going to have northern and southern kingdoms come together on that ass. And the house of Esau for stubble. What is that, stubble? Straw, as in kindling for a fire, and they shall kindle in them and devour them. and there shall not be any remaining of the house of the nation of Esau, for the Most High Yahweh hath spoken. Don't look like there's any hope for. Can't say they haven't deserved it.
Response. When US wants the help, we've seen it. They will help. They will put in billions of dollars, taxpayers' money that they take from their people to go and pay or fund the war. We've seen that. We've seen how they fight for the people that they care about and they see as true allies, not this fake allies that they tell us that we are to US government. No, that's not true, because on the ground, that attacks continue. They claim that they're helping us with insurgency and all that, but it's alive and well. So if your troops are so good and have been here for years to help us, where's the result? Show us the result. If there's no result, then it's time for you to pack up and leave. And that's exactly what the people of Niger, along with their government, said. And I think it's something to be proud of, because it is a beginning or a start to Africans realizing that if it's not serving you, it's time for you to say bye-bye. Anyways, fam, let us know down below what your thoughts are about this story. I'm Wigil Zelalem. I'll see you on the next.
There you go. All right. Let's see. So let's go to this one.
We all know this was coming, and this is exactly why the puppets of the West tried their best to thwart these leaders from getting into office. By them, I mean Sonko and the new president of Senegal. So the prime minister made this comment, and it is scaring the French. The Senegalese prime minister at a conference in the capital city Dakar, why Senegal still had several French bases more than 60 years after independence from France. Mr. Sonko questioned the impact of the French military presence on the country's sovereignty. He said, quote, "I reiterate here the desire of Senegal to have its own control, which is incompatible with the lasting presence of foreign military bases in Senegal," end quote. We're not really surprised by him saying this, because he was very vocal even before he became prime minister. He was vocal about how it's not fair, the relationship Senegal has with France, and how it should stop, basically, like this exploitative relationship that they have with their former colonial masters should change. And that video actually went viral before it was announced that he was going to be the prime minister of Senegal.
It is high time for France to lift its knee off our neck and put an end to this unjust oppression. Centuries of misery, human trafficking, colonization, and neo-colonization have caused immeasurable suffering. It's time to put an end to this cycle of oppression. It's high time for France to leave us alone. It's time for France to take a cue from its European neighbors and learn a valuable lesson in independence. Germany is the leading economic power in Europe, significantly surpassing France, which is ranked as the third or fourth largest economic power globally. Germany does not exploit any country, any colony
anymore.
I can mention Italy, I can mention Spain, who had colonies before, but who do not exploit anyone, who do not interfere, who do not impose leaders in their former colonies. On what grounds does France believe it can continue to impose leaders on us and make choices on our behalf?
Unfortunately, history. In history, it says that they will find someone that will work for them, all right, against their own people. It's sad, but it's true. That's how come they've been getting away with it for so long. All right. They need that puppet. You heard on the last video about how they were, talking about the U.S. and the puppet that they used to have there in Niger, They had no problems until he was rooted out. Now there's a problem. And this is what they do. The sad story about Gaddafi. All right. He had it where his people didn't, they all benefited, got a cut as far as getting a stipend from the oil sales. Basically, everything was free. They didn't have any debt. That wasn't good enough. That was not good enough for some of them. They managed somehow to stir up a lot of shit there. All right. It's, and I was never a fan of his, but to hear that and to think how stupid some of those people were that were complicit in that gives you some idea how this piece of shit, this so-called white man, this Edomite, he got to go. I just read it was in Habakkuk. I guess I'll get it in the GNT next. But I'm not going to go too far in this one because it's basically the same thing. We're dealing with, the same issue. All right, let's see if Great News Bible. Let's see, go back to Habakkuk. All right. Let's see, where was I? Let's start at 5. It says, wealth is deceitful. Greedy people are proud and restless. Like death itself, they are never satisfied. That is why they conquer nation after nation for themselves. Verse 6. It says, destruction to the Chaldeans. The conquered people will taunt their conquerors and show their scorn for them. They will say, you take what isn't yours, but you are doomed. How long will you go on getting rich by forcing your debtors to pay up? The sad thing about Haiti, it's known as the poorest country to this day in the Western Hemisphere. Well, why was that? Don't you know that they were forced to pay France monies that France determined that they otherwise would have made if they had continued to be slaves? What kind of shit is that? And that went up all the way until I think the 40s or something like that, the 1940s. We're talking about 1804 when that revolution, whenever it was, from off the top of my head, maybe 1809, something like that, 1810 some point. But from that point to the 1930s and 40s, come on, man. Verse 7, but before you know it, you that have conquered others will be in debt yourselves and be forced to pay interest. Enemies will come and make you tremble. They will plunder you. You have plundered the people of many nations, but now those who have survived will plunder you because of the murders you have committed and because of your violence against the people of the world and its cities. Another sad tale, is Lumumba, Patrice Lumumba, all right, Congo, really sad. And guess who? Again, that was the reason why Malcolm X made that statement that got him in trouble with, God damn it, Elijah Muhammad, about chickens coming home to roost, because he knew about who sanctioned that, and that was Eisenhower for the assassination and murder of Patrice Lumumba. All right. Yes. So when Kennedy was assassinated, because even though Eisenhower initiated it, it was allowed to go through under the Kennedy administration. So yeah, that's why he made a comment. Well, chickens have come home to roost. All right. So, and then these devils had the audacity a couple of years ago to hold a ceremony. It might have been 3 years now. Was it 21 or 22? Belgium, who was behind it also, to hold a ceremony. I told you, another example of the cold disrespect, all right, to the family, the descendants of Lumumba, and all that was left, because his body was put in acid. Don't know if he was still alive or whatever, to try to dispose of it. and the only thing supposedly remaining was a tooth. And that's what they held the ceremony, what was it, 2 years ago? To give the family the tooth. Yeah, how about that? Verse 9, you are doomed. You have made your family rich with what you took by violence, and have tried to make your own home safe from harm and danger. 10, but your schemes have brought shame on your family. By destroying many nations, you have only brought ruin on yourselves. Even the stones of the walls cry out against you, and the rafters echo the cry. You are doomed. You founded a city on crime and built it up by murder. The nations you conquered wore themselves out in useless labor, and all they have built goes up in flames. The Most High Yahweh Almighty has done this. But the earth will be as full of the knowledge of the Most High Yahweh's glory as the seas are full of water. You are doomed. In your fury you have humiliated and disgraced your neighbors. You made them stagger as though they were drunk with his democracy, his doctrine and philosophies. You in turn will be covered with shame instead of honor. You yourself will drink and stagger. The Most High Yahweh will make you drink your own cup of punishment, and your honor will be turned to disgrace. Lamentations 4, verses 20 and 21. All right, let's go back to the video.
This must come to an end, and the emerging Africa, the African youth, the African elites, and the African diaspora all stand united in saying no, it cannot continue any longer. France's hypocrisy is evident and pervasive in daily life. Let's examine the cases of Mali and Chad as prime examples of this hypocrisy. In Chad, where the constitutional process has been interrupted, France applauded and its president visited to officially consecrate the new king's coronation ceremony. In Mali, where it is not the constitutional process that has been interrupted, but the transition process, France has condemned and even packed up its things to say that it is leaving Mali. That's hypocrisy. It's the double standard. It is the double language that France employs in its dealings with Africa. During our questioning of Mr. Jean-Yves Le Drian regarding the situation in Ivory Coast and France's decision to allow a third term, he provided a clear explanation. He stated that while he accepted the third term for Ouattara, he refuses it for Belarus. He emphasized that France has condemned the situation in Belarus and has actively encouraged the European Union to do the same. Le Drian explains that in Belarus, millions protested, unlike Ivory Coast, where there were no mass demonstrations on the streets. This is how France deals with African issues. Personally, we expect...
Let's check that out. Where's Belarus? He puts it in your face. If it's wrong there, it should be wrong at Belarus. Alright, it's in Europe. What? Got Lithuania. Kiev. Latvia. Not Latveria for you Dr. Doom's fans. Anyway, so let's see Belarus. Alright. Belarus, Russian. Alright. As soon as it pulls up here. So we're talking about, let me get the map here. So we're talking about the same region. Alright, hold on. I wanted something more. Here we go. Alright. See if I can expand on that a little bit more. Oops. What the hell? Wait a minute. How did that happen? Okay. Just weird. Let's see if I can enlarge this a little. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. All right. So we got, let's see. Got to the south, we got Hungary. Let's see. Let's see. That might not have been a, hold on here. Just north of the Black Sea, that area where, see the Adriatic, hold on, just to the west, all right, of the Caucasus and all that general area there, all right. So we're talking about the same people here, all right. Yeah. Yeah. So it wasn't good enough for them, but it's good enough for the man. Cold disrespect. All right, let's go back.
Absolutely nothing from France. We desire her to cease meddling in our matters, so that the people of Senegal can exercise their freedom of choice, rather than being influenced by France's selection of a candidate using the tactics we are aware of.
A puppet.
We begin by targeting individuals, adorning them with the Legion of Honor or a similar knightly rank, enlisting them in the Masonic lodges, and informing them to prepare themselves as they will be next in line. Even the hypothesis that Macky Sall may not succeed, we know who is being prepared by France. This must come to an end. It will not occur in this manner any longer.
They're witchcrafts.
Let's be clear. We have absolutely nothing against the French people. In France, both political and citizen voices are rising to hold and express the same discourse as the one I am currently presenting to you. For example, the deputies, such as Mrs. Frédérique Dumas, who regularly speaks on the platform of the Assembly, who regularly writes to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, since she is a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, to raise this unfair behavior of France towards Africa, holds the same speech as us. The same Mr. Jean-Luc Mélenchon, Jean-Paul Lecoq, André Chassaigne, all deputies, hold the same discourse as us, and hundreds of other voices. The individuals, like other non-profit organizations, are doing remarkable work in the same direction. We strongly urge France to listen to the voices that speak to it about our plan for a more collaborative, fairer, and sustainable partnership between Africa and France. It is crucial that we work together towards a future that is equitable, just, and environmentally conscious. If she listens, I believe we'll have beautiful days ahead in our collaboration together. If he doesn't know how to cut it, thinking he can continue to function like in the time of our grandfathers, this African youth no longer accepts it. France must make preparations for a definitive break and completely withdraw from Africa. Africa belongs to Africans, not France. She belongs to no one else. Neither China, nor the United States, nor anyone else.
The person you are.
Do you realize how powerful that is? All right, because here's the thing with these Edomites. They like to have, really in situations like this, they would really rather work through a woman, a mammy in most cases, and use her. Hey, the same way they've been dealing with us, especially here in the States, but it applies especially when it comes to Jake. Yeah. So someone like this Jake here, hey, that's dangerous. Yes, sir. That's a very powerful speech. All right, because he putting them on notice. You know, we're tired of your shit. Get the fuck out. All right. Like I say, they thought this was going to go on for as long as they wanted it to go on, not realizing, hey, these prophecies are being fulfilled. All right, and they just going to roll right over you. You know, your devil's time is short, and they know it. All right, they know it. That's why you're getting ready to see a whole nother side that we've tried to warn you about. This savage that we've been dealing with, all right, since the Renaissance. Thereafter, that savage is still there. Underneath that suit and tie, all right. That red hairy beast is still there, and you're getting ready to see him because he's losing it. And our statement out well, in the form of a question, rather, that I would always ask. I said, you know the atrocities that he committed while getting or achieving the status that he's achieved in the world. Now, you got to ask yourself, what is he willing to do to keep that? And that's the period we're coming into now. And that's scripture, all right? That is, and we've covered this also. This is Revelation 12 and 12. And also in the Apocrypha, 2nd Ezra chapters 15 and 16. Also 13. And so be glad, you heavens. 2nd Ezra 13, I believe, started around 30 or 31. All right, realm against realm, kingdom against kingdom. And so be glad, you. Oops, let me go to the regular. I keep forgetting I'm in the. All right, Salakia on that. Let's see. Here we go. And it says, therefore, Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore, rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe or destruction to the inhabitants of the earth, all right, and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having a great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. All right, you go read the next chapter, chapter 13. That's what we're going into, you know, from 11 on down, and it's not knocking at the door now. It's you picture when SWAT makes their assaults on people's homes. They come up there with that battering ram. Well, that's the stage that we're in now, because it's getting ready to kick it on in. But we warned you, or tried to, of these things that are coming. You know, prophecies that are left before World War III starts, such as the MOTB, the CHIP, all these things right here at the cusp. All right, if you hadn't been seeing these commercials and these advertisements of the very same thing, I don't know where you're watching something you shouldn't be watching. All right, because we're in the time now where, you know, in this grace period that we're allotted, it's supposed to be about you getting your affairs in order. All right, namely getting, like I read that word, ingratiate. All right, getting Yahweh Shai's good graces. This is what this is all about. Let's see what else you got here.
Watched in that video is Ousmane Sonko. He is loved by the people of Senegal, especially the youth. They were ready to go to war for him. They were ready to protest, and unfortunately a lot of people also lost their lives because of the protests and the Senegalese police dispersing them using force. We've covered it from the beginning till now, and it is such a wonderful thing to witness, to see the people getting what they want, going out there and voting for the people that they want to elect, and basically showing the rest of the world and Africa that if you come together and demand for your rights, it is going to happen, because Macky Sall tried his best to stop this from happening, and he didn't succeed at the end of the day. And as you saw, these two men and their party stand for Senegalese people. Clearly, he was honest from the beginning, and that was his plan, and that is exactly why the former president, Macky Sall, who is seen as an ally to the Western world, why he irked his spirit, why he arrested him so many times, why he stopped him from even competing in the presidential election. Luckily, his friend was allowed to run and he won, and he made him the prime minister. That is why he's in office right now, and that is why the people of Senegal are really happy. They wanted him from the beginning. They protested to have him there, and it's not news to many people that he feels this way about France and their relationship. And the positive thing about Sonko is that he wants now to have a good relationship with Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. And as we know, those three countries have been showing us how it should be done, how we should come together, and how.
And there you have it. All right. Another thing that they fear, but overall, all right, you got to put your faith in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, all right, and not in man, because trust me, they coming for them with, you know, as they say, loaded for bear. All right. Oh no, you did what? No, how dare you? Yeah. All right. So once again, I hope who ever views this video is edified. Again, what we do here at Great Millstone, I encourage you to, all right, do your own research. All right. We want you to study. We encourage you to study. All right. And also, in closing, once again, I'd like to stress the power of prayer and fasting. All right. Especially in the times that are coming up on us. All right. Very much needed. So with that, until the next video, shalom, shalom.